I'm Brian Malow, and I am speaking with Lydia Rachbauer. She's a postdoc at Lawrence Berkeley Lab in the Biosciences Directorate in Biological Systems and Engineering. Did I get that right, Lydia?
Absolutely correct, Brian. You did well.
Thank you. And what kind of scientist are you? What do you identify as?
I consider myself an environmental biotechnologist in a broader sense, I'd say. So I'm
Interesting.
I'm trying to use chemistry, engineering, biology, microbiology, like all different kinds of things in the context of industrial applications.
Wow, very multidisciplinary.
That's what made me choose my study.
Is that right? You wanted that? Is that something that you like about? I want to ask you, that might feed into what I want to ask you. I want to just know a little bit about your history before you got to this position at Berkeley. Starting with, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Austria. And this is also where I started my scientific career, but it was not always very clear. I mean, I liked sciences always from a very early age on, but I'm also interested in arts. And at some point in my life, it was a tie if I want to pursue the artistic side in me or go for science. And it was science in the end. And it was the very day when I signed up for my curriculum that I chose what I wanted to do, because initially I wanted to sign up for something else. Also related to science, but it was more multidisciplinary, the biotechnological part. So
wow. And then that you were also deciding that to commit not to art and drawing, but to science. But do you still draw?
To art. I do.
Do you do scientific illustration?
Actually, I should look into that, because this would combine my two passions in the
right
way.
But your art is really separate from that?
It is. It's people with facial expressions.
Nice.
Emotions. Very on the end of it, I'd say.
Yeah. We just had a little audio thing. Did you just touch anything, or your audio crackled?
Nope. I'm sorry.
Okay. Maybe that sounds better. Okay. But for a moment, there was an issue, but hopefully it's fine. So let me ask you about your path. How did you get from Austria to being a postdoc at Berkeley?
Actually, it was a little bit by chance. I did my bachelor's and my master's studies in Austria at my hometown university. I followed onto a PhD, which also was by chance, because the project was funded. And at some point, my supervisor just asked, "Hey, do you want to stay? I mean, you're good at what you're doing, and you seem to like what you're doing. So why don't you, turn it into a PhD?" And that's what I did. And after I was done, I knew that I wanted to go abroad, but I had no idea where I wanted to go. And actually, the United States were not on my top selection. But
no offense taken.
It's fine. I like the States. I like California.
Yeah.
A lot. And I have family in Canada. So when the position and the listing opened up, and it was just a perfect match. And it took me like 2 weeks to really think about, do I want to go? Do I want to do this? And it was
a big decision.
Yeah. And
excellent.
So I decided to apply, and it worked out great. And I'm really happy to be here.
How long have you been there?
I joined the lab, I think October 2019, almost 2 years, coming up 2 years.
It's been a weird 2 years, but yes, interesting timing. So let me ask you what you're doing then. So what is the focus of your work? And what will we be hearing about in the Research SLAM?
The focus of my work in general, so talking more broadly, would be finding solutions for renewable energy, so alternative energy sources based on, let's say, biomass in the widest sense. And what you hear in the SLAM is how I want to make use of seaweed or marine seaweed and turn that into energy.
Seaweed, you say?
Seaweed,
what use is seaweed? I see that the name of your talk is From Waste to Wanted, the seaweed story.
So since I mentioned previously that I'm always looking for, or trying to look for, industrial application and to make like make ends meet on a cost benefit basis. So what we're trying to do is make use of something nobody else can use for, like, let's say, food or feed industry. So it has to be something dirty in a way, or not defined, undefined. So marine seaweed, when you think of kelp or whatever is washed to the shore, this is what I'm trying to make use of.
Excellent. And have you participated in something like this before, the Research Slam?
Not actively, but I have been in the audience a couple of times.
Oh, really? Yeah.
For science slams, and I always enjoyed it a lot. Never
and so you
imagined myself being on stage.
But then you submitted and you're one of the 12 finalists. And what are your feelings as we approach the date?
Oh my gosh, so many. First, it was good that I didn't know what I was putting myself into because I might not have done it, but it's really great. It's a great journey. I'm very much excited for the slam. I'm a little nervous, of course, because everything's new. This is not my day-to-day job, basically. And so, yeah, but very much excited.
Right. What about that? So this is, do you do any other public outreach, and do you consider that part of your job? I mean, being a researcher is full-time and the projects you work on are full-time, and then communication could be a full-time job in itself. That is what it is for me. I'm not a scientist, just a communicator. So have you done other public outreach things, and do you think that's an important or interesting part of your job? Do you like it?
I do like it a lot, and I think it's an absolute necessity for every researcher who can like sacrifice this extra time. As you say, it's a job in itself, and we don't end after an 8-hour day usually, so everything we do on top is just extra, but it is really important, and it is especially important to me, and I always participated in whatever was there. So we had like long nights of research, we called it, back at home in Austria, and here I was a stage guidance counselor for young women trying to pursue or don't know yet if they want to pursue a career in STEM, and just empower them and tell them what it's about, and that you don't have to be super smart, or you don't have to think you're super smart, because most of them are and just don't think they're good enough to do it. And everybody who has this interest can definitely pursue a career in STEM and should.
You know, I think you sort of just answered. I was going to ask you if there was something you wish the public understood better about science, but that really is kind of one good answer of just knowing. I hear this a lot. Sometimes I see people on social media saying, hey, I thought I wasn't good enough at math to become a scientist, and I was wrong. I'm not that good at math, but I was able to do it. And I was told I could do it, and I did. So that idea that, hey, you may not think so, but you can become a scientist. That's a great message. Is there anything else you want the public to know just about maybe science or in general?
I just wanted to add, yeah, as long as you're passionate about it, you're just the right fit. That's all it needs, because it's lifelong learning anyways. You're not supposed to know everything when you start, or even as a postdoc right now, I've been a postdoc for 2 years. I learn new techniques, new skills, new things every day. And I think it's about curiosity and just passion.
That's great. And what else, what motivates you to get up and do this work every day? Doesn't it sometimes seem like drudgery, or you don't want to get up and go to the lab and do the same thing? Sometimes it's not as exciting. Sometimes it's repetitive and what it takes to actually do scientific research. But what drives you?
It is tedious work, definitely. And not every day it's easy to find this motivation and to really get out of bed and say, oh yeah, today I'm going to make a difference. But today might actually be the day where I could make a difference. So why not try? That's actually something. Today might be the day where my experiment finally works out and we find what I've been looking for so long. And if I don't try, I won't find out.
Excellent. I think that's a really nice note to end on. And Lydia, good luck in the Research Slam. And thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you so much, Brian. Really enjoyed it.